Welcome to the Reinvented Life with Pamela Chanel David. Do you want to step up your game? Pursue your dreams. Be the best version of yourself. The Reinvented Life is here to help. The Reinvented Life is about courage. It's about staying relevant. It takes grit. It defies gravity. It's about taking inventory of where you are today and where you want to go. Embrace change. Make things possible and reinvent your life. Call in with questions at 888-994-4995. Now, it's time to reinvent your life with Pamela Chanel.
Well, hello everyone, and welcome to the new season of the Reinvented Life Show. I'm Pamela Chanel David. I'm founder of the Reinvented Life Network, and boy, am I excited for this new season for the Reinvented Life and for today's show. I have on today as my guest someone that you are going to love hearing from him. He is the consummate entrepreneur, and I am so proud to say now author. Let's welcome to the Reinvented Life, David Hartman.
Oh, Chanel, thank you so much. I'm so excited to be here. I'm sitting here getting ready, realizing this is my first time on a show, a podcast. I have no idea where we're going to go with this, but I'm just thrilled to be here. So thank you for inviting me.
Well, I couldn't be more excited to open this new season of not only the show and of the network with anyone other than you. Just for people that are listening and people that are watching, David and I go back incredibly almost 15 years now of knowing each other. It's so hard to believe that nearly 15 years has gone by that he literally has graced my life. And over that 15 years, how much reinvention has actually gone on for both of us. But today's show is very exciting because today, David is launched a campaign on Amazon. It's a best-selling author campaign. It's a one-day campaign, the official launch of his book. And we're going to dive into it today. And I'm so excited to hear about the origins of how this all started, where your book will be heading, where it's going. And we're going to have, for everyone that's either listening or viewing, there it is on the screen, coming out at any age is a story over 70 years in the making. So I want to start with, first of all, how does it feel to have launched your book, written your book, and how did this start for you?
It feels beyond amazing. I'm still pinching myself. Is this really happening as I'm watching the campaign succeed and the book is climbing up to number 3 on the Amazon list now? And I'm like, who wrote this book? Like, I can't imagine that I did this. I've been talking for 25 years about writing a different book than this, which is the story of a miracle that happened in my life. That's going to be the next book. But, I met this incredible woman about 4 or 5 years ago named Susie Pruden, who is the owner of Itty Bitty Books. I went to a luncheon where she was the speaker, and I said, there's a book in me, and it took years to happen. And last year, it's been a little over a year. Well, 2 years ago, I had surgery. And so I was recovering. And I said, gee, while I have this time, I was flat on my back, as you know, I had back surgery. While I have this time, maybe I should think about writing this book, even though I didn't know what the book was. And that day I received an email from Susie saying, I'm doing this seminar, write your book in a weekend. called her immediately and said, sign me up. And it wasn't written in a weekend at all, but I took this workshop, and I love her format. It was very simple to follow, and it really helped me get clear on, where to start as a writer. I didn't know I had writing in me. I just had no clue. So that was, I think, almost a year and a half ago. Then, as you know, in between, I did a big move and moved to Barcelona, Spain. Don't know how I did it. And here I was in this new apartment in this new city, don't speaking Spanish. And I'm like, what am I going to do? Oh, let me sit down and write this book. And it was just so wonderful to have this format of the itty bitty books to follow. And it took a few months. And here we are today.
Amazing. So I love the format as well. And in today's world that can be so chaotic and so busy and everyone running, the simplicity of this book is what I think is fantastic. And the message of this book, coming out at any age, is not just the story of coming out, which David will delve into and talk about, but it's the story of living your truth. And at the Reinvented Life, that's really what it is. How does one reinvent their life so that more of the authentic person can really shine and bless the world? Because we all have such talents. We all have such amazing stories that people can listen to, that people can learn from. And that is this book, the itty bitty book of coming out at any age. So, as I mentioned, I know, David, this story is over 70 years in the making. And I know the courage, and I personally know the bravery, knowing you as well as I do, that it took to write this, to announce to the world really who you are. And that's where I think it's a great place to start.
So as a kid, um, I hardly spoke. Like, I just felt different. I didn't know what it was. I mean, I was a kid. I'm 72 years old now. This was the 1950s. Life was very, very, very different. And I came from two very strong East Coast parents, an incredible older brother, very accomplished, very successful. And I was so shy and so afraid of my own shadow, but I knew that there was something different about me. So I became a musician when I was young, and that's how I expressed myself. I really didn't speak until my 20s. I know that sounds crazy. I mean, I spoke, but I couldn't even get words out. And at 21, I got the courage to finally tell my parents through a letter that I was gay. And my father called me immediately and asked me if we should go to a hospital. My mother, you know the story. My mother couldn't leave the house for a couple of years because she just felt so much shame. My brother asked me to take back the announcement, and basically say that I was kidding. So that was my first entry into telling the closest people in my life who I was. So I spent many years hiding. Every time, I mean, I've been very successful in my life. I've done lots and lots of businesses, of jobs, but every time I got to the point where I was at my height, that fear kicked in of they're going to find out that there's something wrong with me. So that went on for 20 years, where I really just kept my mouth shut. I can't even tell you I was hiding now. I just was reverting back to that childhood of keeping my mouth shut because there was something wrong with me until I was 40. And I went, you know what? I'm going to move to San Francisco and I'm going to be gay. I'm going to move across the country. I grew up in New Jersey and Boston. And what better place to move to than San Francisco? And I'm not going to tell the whole story, but of course, you know intimately the story, which was a miracle happened, and I became a father of an amazing daughter who's now 28. But through that, and I had not been in contact with my parents for years, and I called them and told them they had a granddaughter. And it turned into now they had a story that they could tell the relatives and all their friends that I was straight, married to the mother, who I was actually a sperm donor for. And we had the beautiful American family. And I went along with it for my daughter. I just didn't want to make any more waves. So I spent another how many years, as you know, that's when I met you through those years, loving every minute of being a father, but still not being fully who I am. Of course, my friends knew that I was gay and all of that, but I didn't announce it to the world. It was just so hard for me. I remember the day, so Pamela and I met 15 years ago in a Panera Bread in Charlotte, North Carolina, and we became very close friends. Into like, who are you? We just knew each other. We were long lost relatives. And it took me years. I remember sitting in a car once calling you saying, I have to tell you something. And I couldn't get those words out because the memory of the initial coming out was still so painful. So when I did that weekend workshop with Susie, I didn't want to write this book. I had a million other topics. And one of the questions was, what choked you up? What's your biggest fear? And this was it. And she said, that's what you have to write about. That's what you have to give to the world. And here I am. And it's big. It's big. It was scary. It was very scary. On October 11th, I posted it on Facebook. That was National Coming Out Day. And I was waiting for the earth to crumble. I was waiting for an earthquake or a tsunami or a hurricane in Barcelona. Nothing happened. Everybody was wonderful. It's just amazing that it's taken 50 years to be okay with myself. And when I read the book, I wrote it and I went, it doesn't mean anything. And the more I read it, I realized that it's the 15 steps that I've gone through for 50 years.
And when I read it, and because I know you as well as I do, I love the candidness of it. I hear your voice in it. And again, it's the thing that sticks out to me about it, and what I think will serve people so well, is the bravery and the courage, as I mentioned, that it takes to let people know who you really are, for you to discover who you really are, and that people almost need permission, if you will, to let the world know who they are. And it's such a gift because you knew something was different. You were met with such adversity when you finally, at 21, came out to your family, that it stifled you more than your life had already felt stifled. So I'm wondering, in writing it, what your thoughts were about the gift that you've now really presented to the world.
Well, I'm just getting it now. And of course, today I'm getting so much incredible feedback from friends, from relatives, from all over the world. And what I love also is yes, it's about coming out, but it's about coming out for everybody. I've always been a cheerleader, as you know, for everybody to just be who they are. And we teach what we have to learn. It's like so when I first moved to San Francisco, I studied with this incredible center and this woman, Dorothy DeVac, and became a personal coach. personal development coach, and I was helping. In fact, I was teaching classes called Be Who You Are. Little did I know it would take me another 20, whatever, 30 years to be who I am. It's like, so I'm looking at the book going, I had no clue that it could really touch anybody or help anybody. And I feel very hopeful about where this book will go, where my life will go. I'm thinking about doing now a workbook with it, seminars, um, lots of things. My passion would be really to help families who do not accept their kids and love their kids. How can you bring a child into this world and not just love and accept them for who they are? I know you yourself, Pamela, you have 3 amazing children, and you just brought them up to be exactly who they are, and they're incredible adults now. I can't understand how anybody could not love their children unconditionally for who they are. So that's my passion. I don't know exactly where this is going to go. This is day 1 of really being speaking about it, but I'm very excited that I feel open to looking at the next steps and knowing that this can touch many people, or I hope that it will.
It's got to be so uplifting, so relieving, if you will, to feel that weight of having to conceal, having to hide behind who you are to the world. And as you mentioned, whether it be through your business accomplishments, whether it be through early on your musical accomplishments, I know that was the way that early on you expressed yourself, because from what you've explained, for as articulate as you are now, words didn't come easy to you. You were so trapped inside by having to conceal, first identify, and then even conceal who you were. And I think that's got to be one of the biggest tragedies that people face, is the inability to be open and to be free and shed their talents, because there's no one I know with the kind of talent that you have, as I say, in business and in the arts and in design and in music, that you are. And that gift that you are now going to, through the book, through the workbook, through, I know, your next very exciting project of really the bigger story of how this miracle has unfolded in your life. It's a true gift that I'm hoping people will be able to feel liberated themselves. We're going to mention many times here as this show goes on, but if people want to today, we're running a campaign. Everyone should feel free. Go on to Amazon, type in "coming out at any age." You'll see the book that you see in the lower corner there. Pop right up. There's a special. You're running a 99-cent Kindle version of the book, so it's accessible to everyone. And people can go on, buy it. With Kindle today, it'll just go on everyone's smartphone. I mean, it's so simple to read. But I think more importantly is to get the word out to the masses that people can liberate and that they don't have to feel so trapped.
As you're talking, I'm remembering this day. It's as if it were yesterday. And I just want to tell everybody, life, you know this, we talk about this all the time. Life goes so fast. It's unbelievable. So I went to a music conservatory in Boston, and that's what I was going to do. I was going to be a professional musician. I was going to audition for the Boston Symphony. I would lock myself in a practice room for hours and hours and hours. I played clarinet and piano, and I gave my graduating recital. I've told you this story, but I'm there right now. And I hope your audience doesn't think I'm crazy, but the recital was great. I went behind the stage. I placed my two instruments down and I looked up, and I believe in God. And I just said, God, what do I do now with my life? And I had tears rolling down. And I looked down, nobody was there. My instruments were gone. Were they stolen? What happened? I have no clue. My instruments were gone. And I hear this voice, you have to learn how to talk. And it's taken me 50 years to really learn how to talk. Pamela and I met in a different industry, which actually was life changing for me. It was a tough industry, but here I've been a very shy person. I've had many careers, but always in the background. I was a designer in people's homes, one on one, I loved. But in this industry, I remember the day Pamela and I were on stage in front of thousands of people. Remember that day? And I had to learn how to talk. But I learned how to talk about other things, but I didn't learn how to talk about myself and my experiences that could really help people. So this is the stage of my life, and I want to encourage everybody, don't wait until you're 72 to live your dream, to live your passion, to live what you were born to be here for. I believe we're all put here for a reason. And, I'm so proud of you for putting together the Reinvented Life from where we started 15 years ago. This is incredible. But, that's what we're all here for, to share our gifts. And it's taken me this long, and it's okay. Thank goodness I'm healthy, I'm alive. I hopefully have many more years to share. But that's what I want to encourage people. Anybody who reads this book and whatever else I'm going to do with it, to just be themselves no matter what anybody says. It doesn't matter. We hear these stories about you reach your 60s and your 70s and you finally don't care what other people think. Why can't we do that in our 20s and 30s and 40s?
Well, from all the work that I do in coaching, whether it be business coaching, life coaching, working with people, you know the kind of work that I do, the number one theme that comes up is this notion of shame. That down below the surface for so many people, there is shame attached to people's lives, whether that be something in childhood, some occurrence that happened, a way of being, something that happened in adulthood, or anything along the way. All of a sudden, people are mired down, like weighted down by this concept of shame. And as you mentioned, life goes so quickly that to spend so many years, so many decades of our time here mired down in the shame and in the blame and in the woulda, shoulda, coulda, rather than coming forward with these beautiful gifts. And in your case, the road that you traveled, because I intimately know it so well and know your story so well, that the road you traveled has created a story, has created a narrative, that there is so much to learn from. But the main thing and what excites me about this book, and I love the fact that you've aligned with Itty Bitty Books, because it's so digestible. In a half hour, an hour, or less, people can pick up this book, read it, and what I mentioned to you, what I love about it, is it's very thought provoking. It's almost like just having a conversation. There are so many questions that are posed to it that I'm hoping people will look at inside themselves, look at where their life is, and is it where they really want it to be? I call it the domino effect, which is if you laid a bunch of dominoes down and you push the first one, the next one falls, the next one falls, the next one falls. And that describes the life journey and the life path for so many people that instead of taking initiative with one's own life or with one's own business, they let life take initiative and circumvent really the who they really are. So that's really what excites me, is the unveiling of the truth.
Mm. And it took years. When I think about the journey of during the pandemic, my life changed a lot. Pamela and I were involved in an incredible business that fell apart, as many things did during the pandemic. And I ended up living in Southern California, not knowing what to do, walking the beach every day. And I just want to share this little story because it was life changing for me. I got a call from a close friend of mine from the Bay Area, where I basically have lived for the last 30 years, saying that her son had taken his life. And would I get involved in a march around San Francisco? It was called Out of the Darkness. And I said, of course, I'll be there. Drove up to San Francisco, and that's when the light bulb went on. I was at the park overlooking the Golden Gate Bridge with thousands and thousands and thousands of people. And before we started the walk, which was 16 miles through the night, I mean, what an incredible experience. Just, holding all those people who had left us too soon. There was a stage, and one after the other were these kids who had been kicked out of their homes, who were homeless, who were lost because their parents did not accept them for who they are. And I started sobbing, and I went, wow, I've been holding that in all these years and accomplishing and succeeding and doing life. And yes, I acknowledged what happened, but I never got the depth of how destructive it can be for people. I was blessed. I wasn't kicked out onto the street, but many kids are. And, the situation in the world now, yes, it's way more open, but there's still so many people who are struggling with this. So, through that, it then took me years of going through what you just described as shame. How could I let this happen? How could I let this run my life for so long? How could I not really push through and be at the top of my game, which I've got so close so many times and just left? I didn't want people to truly see me. They would see that I'm broken. They would see that I'm flawed. They'd see there's something wrong with me. So I want to help people to not have to live so many years, because it takes so many years with this shame. It just takes such a long time to undo that. And it's unnecessary. It's such a waste of energy. But you know what? I'm grateful. Some people never do that in this lifetime. I'm here 71, 72. That started at 71, really, really healing. I had to go through a very serious back surgery where I couldn't walk for 6 months, as you know. And boy, did I have a lot of time to reenact my life and to really look at what do I want to do with the last chapter of my life.
Yeah.
Little did I know would be in Barcelona writing a book and speaking on a show with you, and who knows from here where it's going to go. But I'm really excited and very grateful for this opportunity today. Thank you.
Well, it's my pleasure. Again, anyone listening, it's Thursday, October 30th. Please go on to Amazon. Please type in "Coming Out at Any Age." You will see, as you see the front cover there, the heart, the rainbow heart on the book. It's 99 cents on Kindle. Help purchase it. Help propel David to the spot he deserves, which is really the #1 best-selling author. And I know what's to come. You have a story that is just beginning to unfold. The miracle of your life, all the nuances that have happened, the story that you are going to be able to tell, the next book that's in the making, the next multimedia that's to come with this, will be absolutely not just transformative for people, but transformative for you. And the transformation that I've witnessed in my, as I say, nearly 15 years of knowing you. And I know there are people that have known you, in essence, your whole life, that are marveled by the transformation of who you are, the life you're creating, the courage it takes to move across the world with a few suitcases in hand into a brand new city that I cannot wait to be able to come visit you in, because from all I hear, it's fabulous there. It's vibrant. It's got everything. Barcelona, the reputation of it is just the history, the culture, the arts, the food, the beach. Just it's got everything. I'm thrilled for you. So coming out at any age, go on to Amazon, everyone. Call to action. Read this book from a perspective, whether it's coming out or just coming out into who you really are for the world, is the gift that you've brought. And I can't thank you enough for sharing so openly and being so vulnerable and wonderful of a friend.
I so appreciate this time. Thank you, everybody, for this support. Yes, 99 cents today, and would love to get to number one. We're creeping up the ranks right now, so that's exciting. And yes, it's a one-day campaign, but just more than that, I'm excited that it's actually touching people. I had no clue. I had no clue where this would go, but I knew I had to do it. And that's how I've done my life. And it's a little shaky at times, but this is really exciting. This feels like a real passion and a path for my last chapter. I'm excited about this book. I'm excited about a workbook that I'm going to create. I'm excited about the next story, and who knows what's after that. But I'm just excited to be here. So thank you, thank you, thank you.
And thank you, everyone, for listening and for viewing. It's exciting to open our new season of The Reinvented Life with just one of my favorite people ever. I'm proud of you. I'm excited for you, and look forward to next week on The Reinvented Life. Have a great week, everyone.
Thank you for tuning in to The Reinvented Life with Pamela Chanel David. Tune in each week so we can work and grow together to become the best version of ourselves. Keep striving, keep dreaming, keep working, and embrace change. You may contact Pamela Chanel at info@thereinventedlife.com.